All right, guys, welcome back. And today we're going to go ahead and cover a scandal that plagued the Miami Dolphins 12 years ago. For some of you, you may not have been born. This happened about 11 or 12 years ago in 2014 when Jonathan Martin accused guard um, Richie Incognito of being bullied, and it came to be known as BullyGate. I'm going to go ahead and read an article, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll go ahead and read the comments from Richie Incognito that he spoke about or wrote on X when he heard about about the accusations. Um, and now it came out to light that the accusations from Jonathan Martin were all a lie. It was created by his mother to save his career because Jonathan Martin wanted to quit football. And BullyGate was basically all alive, but it hurt many people, many careers. It almost cost not Jonathan Martin. It almost cost Richie Incognito his career. Luckily, Richie Incognito went on to play with the Buffalo Bills and the now Oakland Raiders. They were the Los Angeles Raiders back then, I believe. But some people did lose jobs. I'll read you an article from Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel, and then read you Richie Incognito's tweets, his tweets on X, and we'll go from there. And the title of the article by Dave Hyde is called "The Sad Truth About Dolphins BullyGate Scandal Finally Comes Out." It was always the worst kind of lie, one that was convenient and believable, one NFL lawyers could sell and move on. One Miami Dolphins official signed off on for added public credibility, and one that after more than a decade of damaging lives can officially be called the lie it was all along. "I never believed for a second I was being bullied," Jonathan Martin told ESPN. "The saddest chapter in Dolphins history keeps getting sadder." Martin could have said this at the start of BullyGate in 2014 and ended it. He could have told NFL investigator Ted Wells and changed the conclusion the league was bent on making. Martin could have told Dolphins owner Stephen Ross and saved several good careers, teammates, coaches, and good support staff, like trainer Kevin O'Neill, who was named the NFL Trainer of the Year by his peers, even as he was being fired, apparently for not cooperating more with the league investigation that showed he tried to help players involved. "It's a story I've been trying to fix for 10 years, Martin said. What, how, where was he trying? Who was he talking to? Well, said Richie Incognito. The heretofore bully of BullyGate on social media Sunday while posting a story of Martin admitting the truth. BullyGate ruined a season and several good men's careers, but had more emotional complexity at the center of the simpleton ideas delivered at its conclusion. The previous sentence isn't something new thought. I wrote it years ago in BullyGate's aftermath. I didn't take great insight to conclude it wasn't as simple, Simon, as one player Incognito being a bad, overbearing meathead, and the other, Martin, being a poor, naive victim. It just took listening to those involved and understanding the locker room culture. NFL lawyers like Wells were too interested in serving a convenient target like Incognito on a public platter to stop all the ugliness for the league. His 144-page report failed so many. The Dolphins also failed mightily. Ross surrendered the investigation from the start to the league rather than doing some work himself. That always would have been a better way to go for his employees. There was a bully in BullyGate, though. That's obvious now. It was the league and the Dolphins for embracing a lie that changed the football careers and full lives of people that couldn't fight back. From Incognito to O'Neal to offensive line coach Jim Turner, they lost their jobs. Players like John Jerry and Mike Pouncey, also and other support staff, had reputations changed by being mentioned in various ways in the report. Coach Joe Philman was forever asked that season why he didn't have control of the locker room. There was truth to that, but the larger truth regarding BullyGate is it was never a story about bullying, racial taunting, awful locker room culture, and a coach's indiscretion of all of which became the pop psychological conclusion in the movement. Nolan Carroll, a safety on the team, mentioned the careers affected by BullyGate on Sunday when he wrote on social media of Martin. I remember when he was crying leaving the locker room because he wasn't playing good and he didn't bother to work himself out of the hole. He just ran like a coward. Admitting this lie does nothing. I never respected him, never will. This was the prevailing idea inside the Dolphins from the start. There's another way to see that this has come out through the years. Incognito and Martin might have been on the opposite sides of the emotional spectrum. One loud and coarse, and the other quiet and sensitive. But they're victims in different manners. Two, no matter how many few want to see Martin as one today. Martin, like Incognito, suffered mental health issues. Incognito was public about his problems. Martin's issues blindsided coaches and staff in the aftermath of BullyGate in ways they wish they'd known. Martin dropped out of football and his news cycle after football until an alarming social media post in 2018. When you're a bully victim, a coward, your options are suicide or revenge. He wrote with a picture of a shotgun while also mentioning Incognito, Pouncey, his high school, Harvard Westlake School. He hospitalized himself in the aftermath. He went on to do financial work centering on cryptocurrency, as ESPN story says. Incognito was suspended for 8 games, became a lost year of football before having a Pro Bowl season in Buffalo and with the Oakland Raiders. BullyGate never ended for him, though. Sure, he made mistakes inside the team back then. He did. But he hit the target best Sunday when he wrote of the Wells Report. A bunch of lawyers came in and tried to understand the culture of an NFL locker room. They made a mountain out of a molehill while being directed by Martin's parents. The report crushed us both. The lawyers wanted to protect the NFL and the Dolphins. They didn't give two shits to fact check any of the wild claims made by Martin and his camp. They took everything I said and used it against me. I was trying to tell the truth. Martin saying it was all a lie from the start. Can't walk back a decade of consequences. It just injects a truth that was there to see all along. All right, guys, there you see the article from Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel. I'm going to go ahead and speak to you about what Rich Incognito um, wrote on X. I'm going to tell you what Rich Incognito wrote on X, and then you leave me your thoughts down below and tell me what you think. Basically, Jonathan Martin wanted to quit football because he was having mental issues. Not to make fun of the guy, he was having mental issues and wasn't playing well back in 2014, and he decided to use the lie his mom gave him to escape football, to retire from football, and put the blame on Richie Incognito. This is what Richie Incognito said last Sunday on X when he found out that Jonathan Martin finally admitted the truth. You tried ruining my career over a lie. A decade later, Jonathan Martin admits he was never bullied. His mother pushed the narrative of bullying to the media. Jonathan Martin never believed in the stance his camp was taking during the Ted Wells investigation. The NFL and the media ran with the false narrative and ruined careers and moved on. That was what Richie Incognito wrote on X this past Sunday about the BullyGate investigation. My thoughts on it, I already told you. It was a cowardly move from Jonathan Martin trying to retire from the NFL. He accused another man of bullying him. And there are pictures seeing that they were hanging out after games and before games and during the week, during practice. So it's just a shame that careers got ruined because of a lie. Because Jonathan Martin's mother wanted to protect his NFL career, his NFL salary, which obviously the Dolphins never went after him for the money. That's just a shame that ruined careers. Leave me your thoughts down below, guys. And if you want custom cups, custom candles, and custom keychains, go and check them out at rollingwithcarlos.com, and YouTube merch will be coming very, very soon to rollingwithcarlos.com. Leave me your thoughts down below about the BullyGate case, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.